Okay, we'll go ahead and get started talking about this. So, you remember from a previous session, I talked about the 4 phases. So you got 0, 1, 2, and 3. Those are the 4 phases. Moving from freedom to contact, from contact to control, and from control to containment. So those are the 4 phases, and we want to keep that in mind that everything I'm showing and everything we're working on here now and what we'll be doing even in the live events is geared towards fine-tuning those transitions, the transition from 0 to 1, the transition from 1 to 2, and from 2 to 3. So that's easy to think about. It's the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? So if you think about that, it's not difficult. But remember that everything we're doing is geared towards that. If you don't need to say something, make sure your microphone is muted, please, so that everyone else doesn't get a bunch of feedback. If you have a question, I'll have a moment for questions as soon as I explain all this, right? So in each of these sessions, one of the things that I want us to really focus on is getting our nervous system turned on to be quick, alert, but yet still relaxed. That's critical, that alert but relaxed state. So the last time we began with the quick draw drill, the gunslinger drill. So we're going to do a similar kind of thing now. Remember, there's so many ways to do it, but I want us to make sure that we're all getting on that same page. So first we're going to do it with the sword. Today's the warm-up is just the sword draw. So again, it's a quick draw, and the idea is you're just trying to get yourself ramped up for moving quickly and being prepared. So you don't even have to have a real sword. I'm going to do this with a stick in just a minute. But the idea is this. We're going to, first, you're just, like before, slightly forward. Don't be back on your heels. Don't be leaning back. Have your knees unlocked, not bent, you're not squatting, but unlocked, tilted forward. So this is the beginner position. You can have your sword ready here, and we're just going to practice whatever you have. I'll do it, I'll raise my hand, and you're just going to go, draw the sword, and drop it into place, okay? So the goal is just to get that sword out quickly. Draw the sword, get it into place. I'm not moving anything, and you're going to study how your body does this as a side effect. The goal is not super duper sword draw man. That's something cool and something you should work on your own. But for the sake of what we're doing here, it's just to be like, if I have Hiromi, for instance, and she's standing in front of me. I'll come back over here just a bit. And she's just going to back up right there. Okay? Come forward a bit so you can be on the camera, right? Okay. Now, you're just going to raise your hand, and all I'm going to do is draw. No. You're going to wait. When we start the drill, you're just going to go quickly. Okay, you're going to be the controller, and I'm just going to draw the sword quickly. So whenever you're ready. And notice, I'm not trying to draw and flip the sword at her yet, especially because it's close and she may move or something. But what I'm trying to do is get the pommel, the bottom of the sword, pointed at her hand. So when she does that again, see it's coming out like that? And then just get it out. Then you can lay it on there. This is the beginning drill, just to get yourself turned on and become aware of the sword. All right? So you can do it here. Now, I'm going to take this off just because not everyone has swords, or not everyone has swords conveniently, and they can't practice this all the time. You can do it with a stick. You don't have to do anything crazy here. So just going to use a stick. And it's the same idea. I'm just going to be prepared. See how it shoots out like that? So it's that same idea of us moving into this Totoku position. I'm going to pull it out here. Now, the next piece is you're going to flip it, and I want you to end up in Totoku position. So slowly, without Hiromi, it's going to look like this. Draw. Notice I'm still in the same place. I just had to turn my body. This is just to get us used to it. Once you get used to it, it's going to look like this. Step back that way. Good. And you're going to do the 2-step. And the 2-step is going to look like this. We're going to do it slow first, and then you're going to do it fast. You're going to go, so this is coming out, then drop it into place. Now, don't do this, don't step, and then drop it into place. I want you to get this thing out, so it's literally like, very similar to last week when we had the sword like this, and we went, okay? But now we're doing it with the draw, just to get us to understand what? The danger zone. Hold your arms out in front of you like this. So just move them like this. So see that space that our arms go into? Come forward just a bit. Okay, come forward, step forward. The space that our arms go into, that's a danger zone. I want us to get used to putting something in this danger zone. That's the totoku. Being able to cross that danger zone. Put something in that space that she has to react to, because if she doesn't, in the next instant, you can be attacking her. So this is the idea of crossing that danger zone. So back up again. So now when she raises her hand, you see how we fall into place behind it? I'm trying to make some noise with my feet. It's hard, I've got socks on, so I've got to stomp a little bit. And notice the sword gets out, and that's why I'm wearing a belt. So you don't cheat yourself for the sword draw. But again, the perfect sword draw is not the point of this. The point of this is to get us turned on and understand that we're starting to move our body behind the sword. In this manner, this totoku hoshi manner. So everything that we're going to be doing is really geared around crossing the danger zone with totoku hoshi. Crossing the danger zone with totoku hoshi, okay? So this first drill is, again, it's like the quick draw drill or the gunslinger drill. So we're going to have a gun, so we can call it the quick draw because we're still drawing a sword. When she raises her hand, we're just going to go boom, boom. Okay? So it goes very fast and we're out behind it. All right? So try this drill for just a minute. We're going to move on. This is something you want to do on your own a little bit later. Now is also a good time to ask questions. All right, we'll keep going then. So, moving on from this drill is the next drill. It's really important. I need you to know me for this. She's going to stand here, and this is going to be part of that two-step drill we did last week. And I want you to understand we're doing it with what we call ichimunji, but it's totoku hoshi. Okay, so it doesn't matter which arm is for. Now, here's the interesting thing we're going to do. So she's going to put her arms up in guarded position. What we're going to do is start to have her move her hands around, put them in different positions like this. As I come in, I want to be able to just get to shoulder control position. So for instance, from her basic position like that, I'm just going to be one step away, and I want you to practice closing your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to go forward, and then whatever I feel. So right now, my arms are on this outside here. I'm going to shift that and move into shoulder control here. That's all. This is just to get us to start to feel what's appropriate when we make contact. This is a static drill. So first we've got our nervous system turned on, moving, so that we're alive and aware and we're kind of feeling what's happening with our skin, right? So as she's doing this, as I close my eyes, she's going to change this hand position, okay? And what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to shoot my arms out. And now you'll see my fingers are touching, okay? And as I feel, now I can feel her arm on this right here. So I just go, and move in like that. What I'm trying to do is get past her defense. She's going to move it around, okay? She's going to move it around, so do a different configuration, right? So as I come in, I'm going to go, and now I'm under here, so you can see that. So I move this like this, and I come in, boom, right back into the shoulder control. So you're trying to figure out these main pieces. Try like this. You're either going to have both your hands kind of inside, one's going to be outside over here, or one's going to be outside over here, or both are going to be outside. Maybe she's got this pulled back, and this is extended straight like that. So as you come in and you make contact, you're like, whoa, I don't feel anything over here. It's okay. You want to practice going, oh, and you know if you feel this arm is extended like this, as soon as you make contact, you know that arm is back in that area over there, even if you can't see it. Okay, in this drill we're doing now, we have our eyes closed. So even if you can't see it, you're going, ooh, and you're guarding this space. Okay, this is the idea is that you're trying to feel, you got to feel your way through it, but we're really feeling our way through it because we're closing our eyes and moving through the space. We're only one step away. So hold your arms up. We're only this distance away. So now when she changes her shape, does whatever she wants, I'm going to go, there it is. So I know this is back here already. So I go, and close in here. As soon as you go in, you can start to feel and play with it, okay? So this is this first drill where we're taking our movement into it. First, it's one step because we're doing static. And like all of our drills, we go from static to dynamic. So the next level of this would be the same thing. So you back up just a little bit, right? No, that's good. And I'm 2 steps out now. So you can see I'm like 1, two big steps out, because I'm using momentum to move forward. So the same thing is going to happen here. I'm going to shoot my hands out with my eyes closed. That's what you're going to do too. So as we're here, my eyes are closed, so she changes the configuration of her arms, and I go, boom, like this. Notice, as I came in behind it, I came in behind my sword, my shield. This is the idea of totoku. If I'm coming forward like this, I do not want to come forward like this, because anything coming right here is just going to nail me. Now you may still get hit by something. So what I did at that point is I came in and I went. So see how the bulk part of my face and my eyes and everything are hidden behind the sword? That's one of the ways of understanding that you're doing totoku hoshi, okay? So one more time, change your configuration. As I come in, I'm going boom, boom. So my eyes are shut the whole time. And as soon as I make contact, my body's adjusting. Left, right, up, down, whatever it needs to. Okay? This is a sensitivity drill to get us competent at what we're going to do that moment that we make contact. So one of the ways that I describe kind of this point is, if you're on a motorcycle and you jump a ramp, you're flying through the air, there's really nothing you can do while you're flying through the air. You can think about a lot of stuff, you can adjust your weight, but what really matters is when you make contact with either the ground or the other ramp when you're trying to come down. So if you imagine, you're Evel Knievel and you've jumped, 47 buses, and now you're landing, how you land and how your body reacts to that instantaneously. You can't think your way through that process. It's a feeling process. So when we make contact with this other person over here, that's us landing that motorcycle jump, okay? So we need to practice this in your dojo a lot. Not necessarily right now, because it's a time that you want to do it over and over again. And really, you don't even need to have a skilled partner for this. You can just have, a kid or a wife or a husband or something like that, just to stand there and put pieces up, okay? So, play with this for just a minute, then we'll move on. Okay, so now let's move on to the next piece of this thing. And this is a drill that I call from 4 to 4. So from 4 directions to 4 directions. And it basically looks like this. I'm going to use Hiromi, but in a minute you'll see we don't need to have another person. So she's just going to stand there and just be guarded like this, right? So what I want to practice doing is I'm one step away from her. So put your arms out a minute. One step away. So I'm just one step away. One easy step, not one giant step. Okay, one easy step away. So arms reach. So go back guard. So what I want to be able to do now is understand that these are going to be here. So the basic level, we're going to take this out of the way until you understand it. Then we're going to put this back in. So just stand there. And we're going to do this. We're going to go from facing her, this is direction number 1, and I need to step to either side. So right now I'm going to step like this. Boom. See, I've taken one step. I'm in this forward tilted position. I haven't moved her yet. As I slip into place, I slightly displace her. So let's look at it from this angle so you can see much better. She's here. I'm here. I'll go to this side so you can see this. I'm going to go, boom. Now, you'll see that my shoulder is about to hit here. So if I've gone too close in here, see how my foot is close to her, I won't be able to get in the space and I'll knock her out of the way. That's incorrect. I need to be able to ninja my way into the space. So all the one behind her here, I'm going to go boom. And this distance is the distance I need to bring my hip into place. And now I've slightly displaced her. So if she were to push against me, she bounces off. Make sure, whenever we're doing almost all of this stuff, that you test position. That was a positional test. So this one more time. So if I do this incorrectly, I'm going to do this incorrectly. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go too close, and I'm going to be like this. Okay, I've bounced her. Now she's going to be strong and not bounce out of the way. She's going to be strong in resistance. She feels me coming in. So when I come here and I do this, I bounce out of the way. And that's because I was too close. This could also be not good, and I go, and I'm over here. So there's nothing affecting her. So now, just take your arm and do that to me. Right? She's able to like push. Of course, I can do the same thing, but that's a 50-50 fight. We don't want that. What we want is, optimally, I'm going to go to this side now, is just do. Right now, you see I can slide my body around her without affecting her. When this comes into place, I've affected her. So now no matter what she does, she's going to bounce off of me. This is a positional test. So this is the first direction. The 4 directions are going to be facing them, facing this way away from them, facing completely away from them, and then facing this way. So from 4 directions. So when he'll be standing here, I will start and end up there. Now, here's the cool thing. Let's do it like this so you can see. Going from here to here, you already understand that. But remember, we're going to 4 directions. 2 4 directions. So you understand if I'm like this, I'm going to go. See that last little part, how I tipped her out? So I said, we're facing this direction. Now, when I come in here, watch, I want to lean in and get this in place, but notice I'm not making contact yet. When this back leg comes into place, see I've hollowed my chest out a bit so that when I get here I go and it taps her off. And again, we test. So try not to let me do that. I'm sorry, I'm here and I'm going to go. Boom. Okay, she can't stop me from doing that. So that's facing this direction. Now here is a good nice little challenge. You're facing away and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go boom. See I'm leaning forward like this. I'm stepping and I'm leaning forward, which gives me some stability here, and then coming into place, again test, and you push, boom, and she bounces off. Okay? One more time here. And now, again, this is not rocket science. I'm going to go this way. Now check this out. When I come in here now, watch, I'm going to go, boom. See how my back is here? Now this is the hardest one for people to do because your butt gets in the way. So watch how I have to get in. I have to come here and bring myself around like this. Bring it around, come into place, and then displace her. So again, it's the opposite of the chest one. The chest one, I was doing this. This one, I'll be doing this. Just to get into place, and then boom. This is just to allow us to begin to sense where they are. Because she's standing there and not moving, I need to make sure that I'm not just slamming into her clumsily. I need to be able to slip into place without alerting her. And as you get to do this better and better and better, you'll realize that once we start moving dynamically together, you'll have this ability to do this while we're both in motion, okay? So I said this is from 4 directions to 4 directions. So far, I changed my directions to start. Can you stand here again? Now, I'm going to change the ending position. So instead of just coming here, I need to be able to go in 4 directions here as well. So the first one we did facing that way. Now, I also did one step in here. So I faced this way. But you also need to be facing in the same direction that she's facing. So from here, I'm going to do this. Being able to concisely and precisely step where you need to step so that you end up here. Now this is going to be pretty easy with a static person, okay? You won't be doing it great at the beginning, but you'll get it pretty quickly. So all I did was cross over here. Now there's another way to do this too, which is I can put this other foot here and spin into place this way. That's a little bit more difficult, and guess which one you have to do? Both of them. Why? Because you have to practice moving with either leg into position for any of these positions. So earlier I did this, right? I stepped with the leg all the way across. Well, I'm going to do it with this leg now. So it looks like this. As I come into this position here, I go, Now this will be much easier feeling. This will be much more difficult to do in real life because you're taking 2 little steps in the space of this one step. And what is this person going to be doing when they become dynamic? Not waiting for you, okay? So from here, we went to here, we went to here, we went to here. And we've gone to here. So those are the 4 directions. And you want to do it on both sides. So you're moving, facing any of the 4 directions, and end up facing in any of the 4 directions. And this is the static drill. This is pretty simple, pretty easy to do. Okay? When we're doing this, you're going to play with this. Then you want to build it up to where you can jump into position. So you could be going from here and really taking like a leap into position. So you'd be like, boom, and just end up right where you need to be. This takes a little bit of training and practice. You won't get this in a day. But it doesn't take that long. because as human beings, we're used to maneuvering about in our world. We walk places, we run sometimes, we jog sometimes, we jump sometimes. So being able to just move around obstacles. Now, without Hiromi, because you may not have your own Hiromi to work with, so you got a chair. So you can do the same thing with the chair. You're just going to practice going. See, I just barely moved the chair off the way. You want to practice that. And then how to get around this. So you can think about like, I can turn it like this, and now I'm going to go, and be just here. So I can feel it. So it's like I can move the chair. Just barely. I'm not knocking the chair over. So you don't want to come in here and be like, and that's not what we're shooting for, right? We want to be able to control that. So however you're maneuvering, you're going to go with the leg that goes to the outside and the leg that goes to the inside. Okay? So I can be coming here, all the way through, or I can be coming here. And you can see, again, how once I stand up into my proper posture, position, kamae, that I'm able to just slightly affect this chair. So you can use an obstacle, you can do this around a wall, a doorway. In fact, this becomes kind of an interesting solo training for yourself, is being able to slip around, like if you're going through the door, slipping around it so that you're just making contact and not breaking your own kamae. Being able to do just enough distance to make contact with the door or the wall around the door that you don't break your own kamae, but you keep moving, okay? So this is the from 4 to 4 drill. There's many more variations of this, but this is just something to start to play with. It's a good game, it's a good warm-up drill, and it gets you, again, your nervous system's turned on and alert, but relaxed, okay? So give this a shot for about a minute or two, and then we'll come back in here. Is there any questions on this? Okay, come on back in. So now we're going to do another little exercise, and this is from the kind of the previous seminar set that we did, this Heiki knife. So you're going to use this, it's called the pattern. So there's a sequence to the Heiki knife drill. First, she's just guarded. This is a beginner person. She's like protecting her eyes and her head, and I'm just, and then getting more and more, wild and hard and stuff like that. But we're using these full noodles, so it doesn't hurt them, right? And then, as she gets comfortable with that, she goes into the steering wheel Heiki, which is just like this. So this is the full zombie Heiki. So she's here, her arms are in steel arm position, and think about a steering wheel, turning, leaning, and steering this person. So while I'm trying to like stab her, and I'm like moving this out of the way, she's just coming back in and staring into me, and I'm like, and she's walking into me like the zombie. So even when I like shove her away, she's like, back in like a zombie, okay? Now, you want to be careful not to let your wrists start coming in with this imagined idea of the steering wheel. You want to keep your hands up straight, and the pinky knuckle should be sitting right here. See the seam of my shirt, okay? Where the seam of the shirt would be if you were wearing it. So she's controlling both shoulder areas, okay? So this is while we're doing this kind of thing, boom, 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 boom. Now, you've done that from the last seminar series. We'll be doing it again in this seminar series. But I want us to understand that once you've gotten used to it, and a lot of you have, I've already been training with you and seen you, a lot of you are able to just be comfortable and calm and cool. Then we start to look at, okay, now that you're not worried about getting cut, you can pay attention to learning and seeing the patterns of a cut. So for instance, when she's here in this Heiki zombie, and I'm like this, and I'm going, boom, and I'm coming through here, or I'm coming in like this, stabbing her in the neck right here, right? Or I'm giving the old slasheroni here, and I'm trying to slash the neck, whatever, these things, okay? So she starts to recognize that pattern. So this is Heiki zombie, steering wheel, Heiki zombie, and then moving up, pattern recognition, which we say is tap, tap, Heiki. In other words, as I'm stabbing her, she's tapping me and moving me, getting my shoulder or my face. So do one of the shoulder ones, please. Okay, and right now she's being really slow and languid. That is not how we do it. The whole idea of getting the nervous system turned on is that it's very fast. It's boom, boom, boom. It's very fast, okay? So that's tap, tap, Heiki. But the next level up from that, once you start to understand that, now you're starting to create and affect another person is, all right, how do we get control of this person wielding this knife? Now, I want you to understand, part of Heiki, the whole purpose of that Heiki knife drill is for us to get comfortable in the danger zone. So hold your arms back out. This is the danger zone. Okay, put your arms down. This is the danger zone for her, okay? This is where she's going to eat it the most. This is the danger zone. We all need to get comfortable there so that we can start to recognize how to take control of the other person. That's the purpose of the Heiki drill. So, at this level of the Heiki knife drill we're about to enter, this is the pattern level. There's a pattern. So, when she's here in this position, I'm going to, at some point, be like this and try to stab her in the neck or stab her here. She won't really know which one is which. And it doesn't matter, okay? Because the pattern she's going to do, we'll switch this a minute. You take this and just stand here like this, okay? So as she goes to do that, I'm going here, okay? So go ahead and just do this and pull back and stab me. Okay, see what that looks like? Now, before we get into that, I want to show you what the pattern looks like. She's going to stand like this, and I'm going to be here. And she is going to wait for me. So we're going to take this drill from the Heiki, we're pulling out for a moment, and we're going into a static to dynamic practice of this one pattern. And the one pattern is this. The knife is in her right hand. With my left hand, I'm going to go towards this arm. With my right arm, I'm still controlling over here. In other words, I'm not going to take this and put my hand in my pocket. I'm leaving both arms active. They're both actively engaged. So she's going to wait here. What I'm going to do is take my hand from the zombie position, and I'm going to bring it up. You see how it's sitting on top of her shoulder? And over. Now, where the deltoid muscle comes to with the bicep muscle, it's easy to see on me, that's where your wrist is going to sit. Not your hand, but your wrist. So my hand is here below her shoulder where you can't see it. It's going to come up and slide down. So the groove is this little bit of a groove here, like this. So let's just turn this way so they can see this. So I'm going to groove this. Boom, 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 boom. Over and over again, you're going to groove this. Notice my wrist stays straight. I'm still in Totoku. I'm going to do this and go. Boom. And as I do, my elbow needs to stay down. It does not need to come up. The habit everyone has is they do this. See how my elbow's starting to float out to the side? Don't get floaty elbows. Keep your elbows down. So from here, it goes boom. And I'm going to add a little bit of a twist. So without Hiromi, just me here by myself, I'm going to go. So see my body adds this little bit of a tilt. My hips kind of move away. And my spine twists a little bit this way. So in the spine twist, if you're looking at it here, what it does is it puts my forearm on this angle. I'm not doing this. Okay, this is me taking myself to end range of motion. I'm not doing that. I'm turning my body so that I get in that position. We've already been practicing this with like the two-step drill, with the swords, with the Totoku, okay? So back here, she look like this. From here, I'm going to go, boom. And when she feels me go there, she's going to cut. Now, everyone will do this incorrectly. You'll try to wait for her to cut. No, you don't wait for her to cut. I'm the leader in this, and I'm going to go, boom. At that point, she cuts. At that point, she is not trying to push my arm. Okay? Now, I'm going to have Hiromi push my arm like everyone from everywhere in the world does every single time. Okay? See this? So remember, that's stupid. And everyone does it. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. The highest level people in the world, the best Japanese, the most, they've been training 10,000 years martial arts, they all freaking do it. Because it's human nature. Because they know the hand is there, and they know they can't actually cut you, so they're trying to push the hand out of the way. Don't do that. This person has to be a good enough uke at this static level, to cut as if they were cutting, and just throw the arm out there and not try to push the other arm out of the way. Just imagine that if I were here and she were going to like poke me in the throat, see what it looks like? Just do that again. One more time. See what happens there? So I kind of surprised her with that. So as I went in, just went, her arm went down. So this is where we want to get to. I'm trying to give you a reflex here. So in position, so when I go, boom, she cuts, okay? So now she needs to get her nervous system turned on and super active and fired up so that the moment that I'm in that position, she cuts. So turn it like this, and she's either gonna cut at my neck or my stomach. I don't care which one, okay? So you see, when she went up, it does run into this, and then it immediately goes down because of the angle. Now, again, she's not going to stop there and keep trying. She just hits it, and it ricochets off. That's what happens when stuff starts going fast. It ricochets off. They don't stand there. It's not like in Star Wars where they're like holding the lightsabers. That doesn't happen in real life. They slide by, okay? So, as you're doing this, it's my left hand, her right hand on the knife. Again, of course, later on you want to put the knife in her left hand and use your right hand. But for now, this main pattern is merely this. It's just going here, boom, and she cuts. And notice, watch this again. I'm going boom. And see how she's rotating and spinning away from me? So what I'm doing with this, and it's really, really hard to do. That's why I'm prepping you with this. This is one of the most important things we can do here. Is when you come over, you're tilted like this. You want to be pushing this forward. You want to be pushing this forward. You will think you need to get their shoulder and bend your arm up like this to pull them towards you. That's what your brain will be telling you to do. Come here. Do not do that. Position, come forward. Okay, if I do this, if I go, cut. See, if I try to pull the shoulder forward, that's what happens. So cut when I'm in position, okay? See what happens? My brain's thinking I got to get a shoulder. Don't do that. Cut when I'm in position. See how it's pushing? Notice that my scapula is pushing. Notice this whole piece is sliding along my upper arm here. It's like there's a track that's on this track. And so my whole forearm, which remember would be a sword if I'm holding a sword in my hand, is moving with this angle forward. In other words, I'm not opening and closing my arm. I'm not bending it this way. I'm keeping this here and pushing forward from my scapula, driving my elbow forward. Okay? So one more time. I'm here, she's in position, and as soon as I get in place, she's going to cut me, so it goes boom. And see how she moves? She moves back and away that angle. At static level, this is what happens. It happens when we go faster too, but much less because the momentum is coming forward, okay? So, do this drill. This is the static level of this drill. Once you get kind of comfortable with it, then you can do this. Go back to the Seki. So be cutting. Blah, 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 blah. And whenever I feel like it, in a moment, I just go and put that in. So I just start to put that in. Again, I don't have to wait for the right moment. There is no right moment. I just want to do that. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, why isn't there a right moment? Because of this. The Seki drill makes us comfortable getting stabbed. But really, I don't want to be here getting stabbed. So this is all preparation for what? For getting past this distance. So if it only takes one step back, that's good enough. Now, I'm going to come in and I'll get ready. You don't have to hold that. You can hold on. She's gonna come in and cut me. Okay? So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and cut. Okay? See what that looks like? So one more time. So now, go slower. As she moves, I'm just going. See what that looks like? This is the point. We're practicing to be here, right up against it. We're practicing to be right in the danger zone so that we get comfortable here. So that we can learn to cross through the danger zone without dying. We may still get cut, that's a reality. But we're practicing to get cut less. To get cut in a way that doesn't take us out. Alright? So this is just the first pattern, is the same, my left hand on her right arm, and going up in the shoulder position, and keeping that angle on like this. Notice that I end up on the scapula back here, which keeps the control. We can stop the drill at that point because I have our shoulder control. If we were taking this further, we could do cool knife stuff or whatever. Okay? So play with this for a minute or two. This one's really, really important. Are there any questions about this? It's a lot of detail I just laid out, so.
Yeah, Rob. So Head in behind the lead arm, is that right?
Yes. Hopefully everyone understood what he just said. Is again, when I'm here, I'm going. Now watch my head and see where my shoulders are. Is as I'm going. See how my head's starting to go in behind this hand right here. Remember, the knife is coming up along here. If this is a sword, I'd want it up higher like this. See how it's at the top of my head? It's not a sword, and I'm going for the shoulder. So the point at the fulcrum for the shoulder that we're looking to use our totoku against, the fulcrum for a knife person or a punching person is the shoulder. That's the top of the cone. So you know there's a cone laying on the ground, the bottom part's big and round, the top small. The shoulder is where all this action can come from. So we're learning to control the shoulder. So we've got to get to this outside edge of the shoulder, all right? So we're just here, and we're going to come in, and as we're coming in, see how my head is actually coming in behind this from this angle? Remember, I'm not trying to put my hand in front of the other person's face. I'm trying to put my totoku in between their fulcrum of their weapon and my face. So the fulcrum of the weapon is over here on the side of the shoulders. That's why it's starting to come in behind like this. That's Dom's point. Okay, any other questions? Good. Again, I don't expect anyone to master this today, but if you start playing with it for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, you'll start to get the hang of this. And you'll also start to learn how to organize your drills so that you can go faster, 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 take something out, slow it down, go static, and then plug it back in, all right? So play with it for just another minute or two, and then I'll come back in here and take us to the next piece. Okay. All right, this is the final drill, and it really connects to the last one. So what we did the last one, turn this way, hold the knife up, get your position, is the knife is in this hand, and so the knife is coming this way, and we did this pattern to control that. But what will happen sometimes is if I'm in Heiki, she's just cutting me, go ahead, boom. She's got this other hand here, and stuff happens, right? So sometimes I have to be thinking about what to do with this. So for instance, she may be reaching over and like grabbing my arm here. So turn this way. She reaches over and grabs my arm to pull like this to stab me. You see this setup? So just do that. So I have to think about that. So as this occurs, I'm going to put this in here. Now what she's going to do is step and then stab. So all we're going to do is, this is the henga, the first variation of, hold your arm up just this one. The first variation of this is going to be going first. And then she's going to step and stab me. So it just goes right in there. So just stab me in the neck so they can see easier. Just one more time. Just poke me in the neck. Stab, not slap, stab. Okay, stand this way, please. Okay. Aim this at me. So I'm here. Okay, as she goes to do this, I go boop. See where she's going? I think everyone understands that. Come from this angle, just so you can see this easier. Okay, go ahead and do that. Okay, see I've kept my hand down. Now, same exact thing. It's just that we've added another piece in here. Now she's moving a little bit extra that you probably won't move. That's typical. So from here, as she's doing, even if she's, say she's stabbing me right here. So she's just going to stab me there. Go ahead. Don't do this. Just stab. I go boom. See how I put this on here? You see, she's got to go over there now. So as she goes over there, see how she's going to turn like that? Because she's got the knife in that hand. So if I stay here, I'm staying at the dying zone. So I've got to, again, keep practicing to cross this danger zone. See, my hand comes into place again here. This is an important piece. So from here, just go stabbing, boom. Okay. So now, just try to stab me, and then when you can't, stab me again. Okay. Good. Go ahead. Boom. Right. So see how that looks. So all we're doing is add this pattern. I'm gonna be okay for a minute. You do it from here. So I'm like this, Heiki zombie. Okay. As I go, she's just gonna tap my shoulder. So I stab her once. She taps my shoulder. I'm here. And she's got to do this on this shoulder. So see how she stood there and let me get these steps under here? Okay? Can't do that. She has to stay in the Heiki position, right? You understand that? So I'm here in front, she's in front of me, okay? As I do this, tap my shoulder, I come here, she's got to go there, so when I come in like that, it just goes in like this. See what that looks like? So, again, you have to be alert, vibrant, dynamic, matching with the other person because their danger zone goes with them. Wherever they move, their danger zone's traveling with them. And you've got to control that danger zone. You've got to get through their danger zone before they get through yours. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You've got to get through their danger zone before they get through yours. That way you can do stuff to them that they can't do to you. All right? So, are there any questions about this variation? It's really simple. You're either going straight for the arm or you put a tap, make them take an extra step, and then you go for the arm. That's all. That's the only difference here. Any questions on this? Cool. That's it for today. That's a ton of stuff. A ton. So let's take this moment and ask questions if you got them. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you guys next week for the third and final preparatory installment. Make sure you guys are working on the stuff from last. Again, just spend a few minutes a day, every other day, whatever you need to do. Get comfortable with this because once we get to the seminar, we'll hit it again a little bit, but we're going to move through and see how this all ties together. That's what we want to do. We want to get to doing martial arts. And all this stuff is just prep for doing martial arts. Some of it looks cool. I know drawing the sword or pulling the gun or being able to maneuver your body through space. That's cool. But that ain't not the martial art. That's just the preparation for the martial art. Okay? So don't forget, we got 4 phases. We have the transitions in between, the beginning, middle, and the end, and that's what we're looking for. Moving from freedom to contact, from contact to control, and from control to containment. Okay? So since there's no questions, I'll say goodbye to you guys, and thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob.